All right, we'll see what happens with that. What about JackSmith and the subpoenas to these county officials in these key places where Donald Trump or people around him try to pressure local officials, county officials, to overturn the results of the election? What does that signal, Carol?
Significant, Katie. I mean, if this special counsel, JackSmith, if people were always saying he is not going to let any moss grow under him, this is absolutely proof positive that he's not. He's asking for all of this information that specifically seeks any communications these key county officials received from Trump lawyers, Trump aides, a list of more than 24 of those people, including everyone from Rudy Giuliani, Bernie Kerik, John Eastman, Jeff Clark, folks you've heard about in the January 6th committee who were essentially henchmen and puppeteers of Donald Trump's in the effort to try to block the election results from being certified. So to ask for those communications with Trump orbit, very specifically, he's going right into the hornet's nest and doing it rather quickly after being named. I also think it's pretty important that or rather, I would second what Jake said. I don't think contempt is what's going to be referred here. I think you will likely see referrals that have to do with obstruction of a government proceeding, and I agree that multiple is the more likely thing. Even though Trump is the target, in a sense, of this committee and all of its work, there were other people assisting, other people for whom the committee gathered evidence, and that's really important, too.
So, Frank, I mentioned that we actually heard from Benny Thompson on the way into and out of this ceremony at the Capitol. It was to award congressional gold medals to police officers who were at the Capitol on January 6th. Afterward, Mike Fanone, who, as we all probably know now, was beaten by the mob, says he was heckled in very profane terms by members of his own department. He says members of the Special Operations Division told him he was a disgrace, that he didn't belong at the ceremony, although the words he said they used were much more colorful. What do you make of that? What's your reaction to that, Frank?
So this is the real disgrace. And the issue here is the culture that still continues at the Metropolitan Police Department in the District of Columbia. These were true heroes that were honored today fighting for democracy. So if the Special Operations Division at Metro Police don't understand what a hero is, don't understand what it means to fight for democracy, then they need to find another job. They can start with a donut shop that they hang out at every single morning, and they apply for jobs there. What needs to happen is the chief of police for the District of Columbia needs to announce publicly that there's going to be an internal affairs investigation, that he's going to interview every member that was there today and get to the bottom of the heckling and then remove those officers, because it's unacceptable, and it gets to the larger issue of a continuing culture in law enforcement that starts at the top. And if the chief can't figure it out, the chief can move on and get another job.
He punched me once, and then, my headset and my glasses went flying off my face.
Bianca Palomera describing to us tonight what happened last Saturday when she says she stepped in to defend a person with special needs sitting in this Habit Burger Grill restaurant in Antioch.
He's throwing threats, saying slurs, just saying that he's gonna beat him up. Why does he keep looking his way? And that's when I step in and I say, it's not right what you're doing.
The suspects then got in her face, hitting her. She fought back and was hit several more times. Doctors telling Bianca she will lose her right eye.
I don't really know what to think. I think I'm still processing it.
We reached out to the franchise about the incident. They released this statement saying, "The Habit Burger Grill prioritizes the safety of our team members and customers in our restaurants, and we condemn violence in any form. We extend our full support to our team member as they recover, and we are fully assisting the authorities in their efforts to identify the suspected attackers." Bianca's family set up this GoFundMe page to help with medical expenses, and they're releasing this video to get the community involved in hopes of tracking down the person who changed her life forever.
You go through not knowing how to help her, going through the acceptance, the grievance. I think we're at the rage. We're outraged because we're not getting help from the local police.
This is probably the last thing that I would have expected out of anything, but I don't fully regret, helping, stepping in. It could have been worse for my coworker's brother.
Breaking news, a jury has reached a verdict in the Trump Organization tax fraud trial in New York. CNN's Kara Scannell has the breaking details. What do you know?
Well, Victor, that's right. The jury just returned a verdict guilty on all counts against both Trump Corporation entities. That means that the jury, after 2 days of deliberations and 4 notes today, came back with this decisive verdict, unanimous, guilty on all counts. Now, remember, the 2 Trump Organization entities were accused of being involved in a 15-year tax fraud scheme where they gave their executives, certain executives, off-the-books compensation. That was corporate apartments that were rent-free. That was company cars. That was private school tuition for Alan Weisselberg, the chief financial officer's grandchildren. The jury finding the companies were guilty on that. Now, Donald Trump, former president, was not charged in this case, but its name did come out at the trial, including on closing statements, one of the prosecutors saying that he believed that Donald Trump had sanctioned some of this tax fraud. So now the judge will sentence the company at some point down the road. While there's no mechanism under New York law to dissolve the company, it will face fines that could be as much as $1.6 million. That will come at a future date. But, the former president himself has no personal legal liability in this case, but it certainly is a black mark for him, for the company that he built from the ground up. And it comes as the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which can claim this as a victory today, is continuing its investigation into the Trump Organization. That investigation, which has been ongoing for several years, is still continuing. But today, a decisive victory by the jury. The Trump Organization entities found guilty of scheme to defraud, conspiracy, 3 counts of tax fraud, and multiple counts of falsifying business records. Victor, Allison?
Kara, just explain to us, why isn't any human being being held accountable? Why is just an organization? Why not Donald Trump, since he made all of the decisions for Trump Org?
So, Allison, this is the way that the prosecutor's office decided to charge this case. They charged these 2 Trump Corporation entities and Alan Weisselberg, the former chief financial officer. Remember, this was in the scope of this long investigation. They were hoping to get Alan Weisselberg to flip, to cooperate and help them on their broader investigation into the accuracy of the Trump Organization's financial statements. So they charged Alan Weisselberg on this. He pled guilty earlier this year in August to 15 felonies. He agreed as part of that plea deal to testify in this case as a state witness in exchange for a lenient prison sentence. Now, when Alan Weisselberg was on the stand, he walked this tightrope, both giving the prosecutors what they want, telling the truth that he had engaged in this fraudulent scheme, but he walked a very fine line, telling the jury that he did not conspire or scheme with any members of the Trump family. That was a prosecutorial decision, why they decided just to charge Weisselberg and not other people. But a number of other individuals who were implicated in this testified before the state grand jury. And in New York State, if you testify before the grand jury, you get immunity. So they needed to get some of these insiders of the Trump Organization, a place where people have worked for decades. That's one thing that became quite apparent during this trial. How many people have worked there for more than 20 years? So they had some insiders cooperating under an immunity deal. Weisselberg was obviously the big fish as the chief financial officer, and he personally benefited from this. His tax returns were fraudulent, and he received these falsified documents that enabled him to pull off this scheme.
And we want to bring you more breaking news stemming from that congressional gold medal ceremony held today for January 6th police officers. The family of Brian Sicknick making a statement by refusing to shake hands with Republican leaders. I want to bring in NBC's Garrett Hake, who is on Capitol Hill. Walk us through your new reporting on this, Garrett.
Yeah, Chris, this was a moment that caught a lot of people's attention during the ceremony when the family of Officer Sicknick kind of went down the line, had an opportunity to shake hands with the various congressional leaders presenting this medal. And you see there, when they got to Mitch McConnell, there past Chuck Schumer, McConnell with his outstretched hand, both of Sicknick's mother and father simply skipped that handshake. Asked by our producer Frank Thorpe afterwards why they did so, here's what they told us.
We got together and we said we're not going to shake their hands.
And now McCarthy is going to investigate the committee that investigated January 6th?
There's much more to that response. It basically comes down to this. The family members said that it was the continued loyalty to Donald Trump that was the problem for them, that the idea that Kevin McCarthy in particular, to a lesser degree Mitch McConnell, but McCarthy going down to Mar-a-Lago in the days after January 6th, that they couldn't take seriously this idea that they were now backing the police officers who stood up and fought on January 6th. So kind of a silent protest there in the moment, but one that caught a lot of attention for folks who are watching that ceremony closely, Chris.